Hello and welcome to the AdamandEve.info series, Objections Christians Have to Polygamy. Number 2, the One Flesh Gambit, which goes something like this. God made Adam and Eve one flesh. It's not possible for a man to have more than one wife, because you cannot be one with more than one. Well, is this what the Bible says? Let's see. In Genesis 2 verse 24, it does say, "Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh." Also in Matthew 19 verses 4 to 6, when Jesus is answering a question from the Pharisees on divorce, it does say, "For this reason a man shall leave his father and mother, and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So then they are no longer two, but one flesh." Now, some people attach great importance to Jesus using the word two when quoting from the Greek translation of Genesis, when the original says they. But the reference to two doesn't really add anything, as, number 1, it was two people that were referred to in the verses anyway. Number 2, polygamists would equally claim that each of their marriages was a separate union. 3, the verse goes on to say they're no longer two, but one. And 4, it would be a surprise if Jesus had added new material to the law, given that the Scriptures repeatedly make the case that the law of the Lord is perfect and doesn't need to change. What else does the Bible say? Well, the Bible says, "Therefore I want younger widows to get married, bear children, keep house," etc. So we can ask the question, what about widows? If widows are allowed to remarry, then you can be one with more than one. Now, earlier we had a rule, and let's have a look if it now needs to change. It says God made Adam and Eve one flesh, and it's not possible for a man to have more than one wife because you cannot be one with more than one. But what about widows? The rule has to change. And it has to change to have words inserted, so that it should say it is not possible for a man to have more than one wife at the same time, because you cannot be one with more than one at the same time. Well, is that all? What else does the Bible say? In 1 Corinthians 6 verses 15 to 17, the Apostle Paul is writing to the Corinthians and he's telling to them that they shouldn't be sexually immoral. And what he says is, "Know ye not that he which is joined to an harlot is one body? For two, saith he, shall be one flesh." That's Paul's proof for what he's saying. But notice, it means that the Bible says that everyone who has sex with a prostitute is one flesh with her. So it must be possible to be one flesh with more than one person, unless of course you believe that this refers to the world's only monogamous prostitute. So we'll have to have a look at that rule again. We have to delete the word "not" to say it is possible for a man to have more than one wife at the same time, because you can be one with more than one at the same time. Well, that's not going to work as a prescription against polygamy, so some people then have to come in with a different change to the rule. And they would add, however, though it is possible to be one with more than one, the fact that the only example is about a prostitute shows that it is not morally acceptable. Well, what does the Bible say? Let's go back to 1 Corinthians 6 verses 15 to 17, because the prostitute isn't the only biblical example of multiple unity. There it says that Christians are the members of Christ, and it compares it to those that are members of an harlot. It also says, "He that is joined unto the Lord is one spirit." So the Bible compares being one flesh with more than one person to Christians being one with the Spirit and with Christ. Yet being one with the Spirit is morally acceptable, even though many other Christians are one with him too. The fact is, the prostitute isn't the only biblical example of multiple unity. There is the unity with the Spirit, and there are others. The Bible does teach that two can be one, but nowhere does it suggest that two is the limit. In fact, Christian teaching on the Trinity depends on more than two in one being both possible and good. So a man already being one flesh with one wife is not a valid objection to his being one flesh with other wives. If there is a biblical case against polygamy, it is not made out by the one flesh gambit. The Bible does not suggest a one flesh relationship should prevent a man from a further marriage. So why should we? Well, some people suggest that in the Bible, the troubles suffered by men with more than one wife show that God thought their marriages were immoral, and we will examine that in our next presentation, the bad effects fallacy. Thank you.